I'm Helen Epstein, and I welcome you to our program. I'm very excited about today because we have as our guest a professional artist and storyteller who lives right here in Leisure Village West. Her name is Sherri Keikilani Aashara Grace. I think we'll call her Sherri. She lives in LVW and paints from her home art studio. She comes from a creative line of visual artists, musicians, dancers, cooks, healers, you name it, from Hawaii, where she was born on the island of Kauai. She believes her creative gifts are genetic. Interesting. Welcome, Sherri.
Hi, Helen.
I can't wait to hear about your many talents, and I can't wait for you to share them with our audience.
Well, I'm very grateful to be here and for this opportunity to speak with you.
Get everybody to know you.
Yeah, and to share my paintings.
Yes, that's the most important thing. How long are you living in LVW?
It's been over 4 years. We moved here.
And where were you schooled? Many places, I think, right?
Right.
Just an overview of what kind of schooling you have.
Sure. My schooling is mostly with my art is self-taught. But I have had schooling with adult continued education. So I worked, and so I learned after I was, after work time at night schools. And I also learned from seniors. So early on in Hawaii, I began painting with a senior group. And I learned a lot from them.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting to know.
Yes.
Where did you live before here? I know Hawaii was originally, but right before you moved here.
We moved from Florida.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you did what you do in Florida?
I've been I painted in Florida. I actually began painting. I've painted since I was a teenager, but wherever I've traveled, we've traveled a lot, my husband and I've lived in many places. I bring along with me painting. Painting is a very important part of my life.
And you're going to show us some of that today. I just want to make sure we touch on your background. You were born in Hawaii.
Yes.
And moved to Germany at some point.
Yes.
And did what you do in Germany.
Well, art came alive. I feel painting art really grew in me at that stage in my life. I was a teenager. Yeah.
When you went to Germany?
Yes, my dad worked for the Department of Defense, so that's why I was there.
And from there to California or back to Hawaii?
Yeah, I moved back to Hawaii after that time.
And then California? Right. Just to get your whole background in there?
Yeah, moved to California, wanted a new adventure, and boy did I get it.
What part of California?
Northern California.
San Francisco area? Or
so in California, they call it the slice. In Northern California, they call it the slice. And what that means is from the Bay to the Sierras. And so I lived in all those regions.
Beautiful places. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. And then back east.
Right. I met my husband in California. And he was from Florida. And so we moved to Florida.
Okay. Wow. You've been all over. You've shown a lot of your artwork, some of which you're going to show today, at festivals and craft fairs.
Yes.
All in all of the places that you've been.
Yes.
That's a good place to sell and to show.
Right. Yeah, including here.
Right here
in New Jersey. Yeah. In this county. So.
You've shown your paintings.
Yes.
Just paintings, and that's oil-based painting, and then it says multimedia. What exactly is multimedia?
Okay, so I began painting with oil painting, and I transitioned to acrylic painting, and I also do watercolor. What I primarily do right now is acrylic, watercolor, and I create many different forms. So I do art journaling, as well as I have my own podcasting. So I create on my channel. Yeah, my podcast channel.
All this is done from home.
Absolutely.
So do we have a painting to show at this point that you can talk about?
Sure. Can we please have my first painting? Thank you so much.
Oh, look how lovely.
So this is a painting I did when I first moved here. And this is a painting of my house.
This house here?
Yes, my house here at Leisure Village West. And my husband and I. And this is a really special place to live. And so
you get inspired by this community.
Absolutely. There is so much inspiration that is coming to me every single day.
Nature and otherwise.
Absolutely. We are surrounded around the most amazing experience of nature that I've ever had so far. Yes.
We have much more in the like deer and much more now than when I first moved here.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a lot of building going on, so their natural habitat is diminishing. So they're here.
That's right.
They didn't have deer roaming around way back. So that's inspirational.
Right.
To see the animals.
Yes, and the amazing plant life that we have. So I'm going to ask, can we have our next painting, and I can share about what's happening next. So this painting here is called Tea with Friends. And so what inspired me to do this painting, Helen, was a friend had recently passed, and she and I had a tea business in Hawaii, an afternoon tea service business. But what also inspired me to do this painting was what was happening in my life, in my home, and in the environment outside of my home, nature, which is what we're talking about. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
But you also, aside from painting, and we'll go back to the painting, there's so many other gifts that you have.
Oh.
You want to touch on those a little bit?
Sure.
That you say are genetic.
Yeah, for certain. So coming to a place of that expansion as I progress in age and my life, my experiences, and being present with what is here happening right now in my environment, in this moment, in my life, has brought on the expansion of gifts. And so what I speak about with gifts is based on my faith, my belief, my teachings is foundationed in Jesus's teachings of love and the expansion of love. And that is part of my makeup. Excuse me. And so
that's what inspires you to do your creative arts.
Yes. Yes. And so the gifts that I speak of are of the practical sense of creating with hands, practicalities of cooking. I love to develop new recipes for cooking for my husband and I. We cook a lot. I cook a lot. So and it's out of necessity because of the transformations that are occurring, like I mentioned, in my life, involves my entire body.
Okay.
So to consider that and how I move and navigate with the environment in my home as well as outside of my home. So I look at things seasonally too. And so the gifting of connection with not only the people beings, but the beings outside my home. And so what I mean by that is the beings, the tree beings, the plant beings, the animal beings. They all are part of my life. And they are all part of the teachings that I was raised with in Hawaii as an indigenous Hawaiian, as well as Filipino.
So your whole family is creative, would you say?
Yes, from what I can tell. My siblings are all very creative. Visually, they create with their hands, in paintings, drawings. My sister is an amazing crafter, cake decorator. I also want to share that besides visual and creativity, I enjoy writing music, and I play ukulele as well as guitar, and I write music. And this came about most frequently with writing music, which is very interesting how when I lean into the environment and connect with the environment, as I connect with God and Jesus' teachings, how it is inspiring so much and how so much expansion of the gifts is coming. So if we could please have the next painting, and I can speak more about this. Okay.
Well, where is that?
So I've lived around many different oceans, right? Being raised in Hawaii and living in the various places, Florida, California, New Jersey. And as you can tell, I'm around a lot of water.
Yes.
And so what I wanted to do with this painting, Helen, was to capture the feelings that I have, the experiences that I've had of all the different waters that I've been around, and to put it in a painting. And so
Is that watercolor?
this is acrylic.
Acrylic. Okay. Now, when you go to the shows that you go to, these are the things that you take with you.
Sometimes during our Leisure Village West holiday show, which was my first show that I did here in the village, I created a collection that of the season. So the fall season was when the art fair took place, and so I created an entire collection in that season to offer. So it depends on the shows of what, if you know,
and the time of year, I guess.
Yes, I try and bring the presence of what is happening in my life in that to my shows. Yeah.
So now you're settled here. You're not moving? No.
I move where God tells me to go. We moved here because my mother's been here for about 10 years, and I came to visit her.
In Leisure Village?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I came to visit her once 10 years ago, soon after she moved here, and I thought, wow.
I want to be there.
Secretly, right? Secretly, internally, the language of, I would love to live here one day.
You just had to be old enough to live here.
You had to meet that requirement.
You had to meet that requirement, right?
But I never really lived my life to prepare for that. And really, I don't prepare for anything. I really don't. I don't like that. The structure of that preparation and planning just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Some people
stifles
have to know exactly what they're doing and when they're doing it.
Yeah, I honor that. But for me, and because creativity and art is such an important part of my makeup.
So next year you could be, who knows?
Who knows? I don't know.
Your mom's still here?
Yes.
Well, that's a reason to stay here.
Yeah. I'm only a 5-10 minute walk away from her home. And so I love the walk.
It's a beautiful community to walk.
Beautiful place to walk.
Behind the pathways behind,
Yes, and to witness nature in this capacity, this close, is such a blessing.
Do you ever sit outside and do your paintings?
Yes. I have a screened-in porch. I'm very blessed to have that. But this coming season, this spring, I hope to be outside of the screened-in porch. So outside on my property and even on the common property surrounding my home. Yeah. To be able to paint out there.
If you go around by the lake, have you been down by the lake?
Oh, yes.
Beautiful setting.
Yes.
It's, I'm sure it would be very inspirational.
Oh, yes.
You see it as your painting. I just enjoy it, you know.
Yes.
So that's there's a lot of opportunity for that. It is a lovely community.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm living here a long time, and I can attest to that.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
can we please have another painting? Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
So this painting here is called Lore Expressions. And this is a painting that was done several years ago. And it is a representation of who I am, my genetic codes, and the ancestral connections that I have to my home. And it is in the ancient tongue of Kanaka, which is the indigenous Hawaiian. We tell stories
So this tells a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was painted recently?
That was
Or when you were
painted.
living elsewhere?
Yes, that was painted in Florida. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say you do painting or create something every day? You get up in the morning and you express your feelings depending on how you're feeling?
Yeah, so as a creative, it's always there. So whether I am actually doing it with my hands, painting with, actually I'm creating with my hands every day because I have to cook and I have to, do that sort of thing. So I bring my creativity in that process. And thankfully I have a window in my kitchen, so I'm able to see outside my window the various birds that come into my spaces. Yeah. I'm so blessed to have a cherry blossom tree, and it offers so much inspiration and languages and opportunity to draw from, so that I can create. Yeah.
Depending on the season.
Yeah, so that I can put it into my present project, my present painting project.
Do you ever just take a break and just not do any creative work and just live your life otherwise, or the creativity is just there all the time?
You know, Helen, I view it now as, it's such an amazing gift to me, a huge blessing to be able to express myself and express my story in a painting.
Because must be very gratifying. It's
very gratifying. So every moment of every day, I wake up and of course, I'm a human being, so I don't have wonderful days every day. I mean, that's just that's just unnatural. Right. But to be inspired by the past progression, the past path of looking at where I've come from, where I'm presently at.
Your story, yeah.
And so every day, with every sunrise, it's an opportunity to see life in a fresh new way. And so that's what I try and focus on, and that is creative in itself.
Just the thought of it. Yes. Exactly.
So no, I can't take a restaurant.
You have to go to ShopRite sometimes, right?
Well, that's part of the experience too. That's part of the painting.
Experience?
Absolutely. Everything is part of the painting. So if we could have another painting, please. Perfect. Okay. So this one here is done last spring, so spring 2024. And what this painting depicts is what is happening in my space, and that is my home, outside my home, and inside of my codes. What is happening spiritually and energetically within me. The languages that come to me from my ancestral home, which if you look at the painting, you'll see in the far background behind the hat, that there is Mano Kalani Po, which is the ancient tongue for Kauai. And so that is, it depicts on the right side of the hat, you'll see a hawk in the sky. And then you also see a mountain range, which is the mountain range of the lands where my ancestral home is, which is on the west side of Mano Kalani Po. And then on the left side of the hat is what is known as Makana, which is also known as Bali High. Yeah. And so that is a depiction of my ancestors are always with me. They're always talking to me. They're always encouraging me. They're my angels. They're with me all the time. And so the bird that sits on my finger in this painting is the morning bird that comes and sits on my fence often. The design on my kimono, the kimono, I'm part Japanese, so the kimono represents part of my lineage, and the designs that's on the kimono represents shells from the ocean, mountains and sun, as well as water. and the connections that I have to it. You'll also see some leaves that are coming on the bottom of the bird below my finger. And that represents tea leaf. Tea is a type of plant that is very important to the indigenous and Hawaiian culture because it represents protection. It also represents life and life continuing. The path that you see behind me in this painting represents my current path here in Leisure Village West, where I live, where I go and I walk often among the trees. The tree to the left is a magnolia tree, and the magnolia tree grows in my mother's yard, where I go and visit her often. And in springtime, it is early spring, it comes into bloom, late winter, spring, and it is the most magnificent colors, one of my favorite colors. And so, yeah.
And that's all just your inspiration. You're not sitting there and looking at any of these things. It's all
right. So you see, everything is part of the painting.
Do you get back to your homeland often?
Only in astral travel. Only in the spirit and dream time. Not in the physical.
Physically. You have family living in Kauai or wherever they live in Hawaii?
Yes, throughout the islands, yes. Yeah.
Okay. What was I going to ask you? You do classes, teaching.
Yes, whenever someone asks me to teach, I am available for that. I do some teachings with some people who want to on my channel, which is my podcast channel on YouTube. And so I am able to provide some training there. But mostly my trainings happen one-on-one on Zoom.
Oh, doesn't have to be together in a room.
Oh, no, yeah.
So you can be dealing with somebody in Hawaii.
Absolutely, across the globe, thankfully, with technology. Yes, and I actually prefer that because of my energy. So we have a painting, and this one here is a representation of my feelings, my connection to my ancestors. And what this painting depicts is, on my shoulders you will see beings, and I carry with me my ancestors in my blood as well as in my spirit. And it depicts my life on Kauai, on Manokalani Po. The mountain that's above my head is known as Kawaikini, or Mount Waialeale. And what it is to me is, in our culture, in our story, it is about how the souls are born into this place, because it's known as the wettest spot on the world, in the world. That represents the birthing, the mother. And so what you'll also see is me holding on to a calabash or a bowl, and that's depicted as the bowl of knowledge. To the left, to my right shoulder, you'll see looks like stones, like burial stones. And currently in Hawaii, not many people have the conscious awareness of this. So I'm thankful to be able to share this with you, Helen, and people who are viewing this. But the awareness that Hawaii is under occupation of the United States of America. And so the lands itself have been occupied since 1893. And when that took place, the entire system of belief and honorings of the lands were completely upheavaled by the United States when they took occupation, and they did it forcefully. It wasn't something that the majority of the people wanted. So what is depicting on that painting of the tombstones and the machinery is, what is actually occurring in Hawaii is that the grave sites, the sacred sites to the indigenous people have been built on, and industry has come from that. So
built on by outside
Yes.
influences.
Yes. Yes.
And that's changed the whole atmosphere.
Absolutely. The whole landscape has changed.
Is
but
that ongoing?
oh, yes. With it being part of the United States of America now, United States of America's occupation of Hawaii, it is, it's under duress. The land is under duress, but life goes on.
How do the people of Hawaii feel about all of this?
Well, it depends on who you speak to. Yeah. So because the narrative has been spoken about in a way that is appealing, more of the truth is going to be coming forward and has come forward already. But because of progression and the sign of the times, it is what it is. So.
Depending on who you are, right?
Yeah.
Oh. More paintings
Sure.
to talk about?
Yes, may we have the next painting, please? Okay. This painting here was done to depict the connection to the land. And when I did this painting, I had no idea, Helen, that my grandmother was going to be speaking to me through this painting. My grandmother and grandfather, who helped raise me, are no longer here. And they were very influential in my life. And my grandmother had passed, and she and I, during her end days of being human, I wasn't able to be with her, and I longed to have her. And I prayed and I called for her. And during this painting process, she and I made a connection. It's very emotional for me because my grandma, the story of my grandmother, and I'd love to speak about this when I have more time, and I'll do it on my own channel. But this particular painting depicts my grandmother, who actually spoke to me through my tree that is in my yard. It's actually on common ground, but she spoke to me through this tree that's in my yard, and we were able to. I was able to mend things, and I believe we made this connection, and now she is always with me, speaking to me. And this is a very sacred tree that's right outside my front door, and it's a beautiful tree.
And very meaningful.
Yes.
Yes. We have some more. You want to get them all in.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This painting was done in spring of last year, and it depicts my life here in Leisure Village West.
Is that your garden?
It is
actual garden or inspirational?
It's part my space, part other people's space in this community, and part of the common area in the community.
You got them all together?
Yes.
Okay.
So I used to go walking, and on the bridge, I witnessed the pond and would spend a lot of time there watching the pads and the lilies and the dragonflies. Mm-hmm. And
you took them all home with you.
I did.
Right.
The sunflower, however, is in my yard.
Okay.
And so the beautiful flowers I would notice in people's gardens.
Yes. Oh,
The hydrangea.
Yes.
And I don't have one in my yard, and I hope to have one in my yard someday. There's certain things in this painting that I just want to bring attention to, and that's in the very center, you see a white spot. And I'm unsure if the viewers can see it, but
yeah, I think so.
It actually is a depiction of home. As I mentioned, my ancestors are with me always, and so that part where it's white, right, close to the center, yes, near the sunflower, is a depiction of the west side of Kauai, west side of Manaukalani Po, where I was raised. And it also depicts a fence with two birds, and the birds come into my space often, and I feel they are part of my ancestors who come and visit me.
And you incorporated that all into that whole flower garden. Yeah. Beautiful.
I really love that painting. It took a lot of time. The dragonfly, you'll see the shiny parts is actually done with teeny tiny pieces of crushed glass. that I adhered.
This is not a acrylic, or what media are you using here?
Yeah, it's part acrylic. It's mixed media, so part acrylic and part crushed glass.
Crushed glass. Where do you get that?
Yeah, I got it from a hobby store, from an art store, and it comes in teeny tiny pieces in a container.
Different colors?
You can buy it in different colors. Yeah.
And you incorporate that into what other media you're showing?
Yes, it's teeny tiny pieces of glass. And so each piece was hand put on there with a tweezer with my hand and glue adhesive.
So what part of that is the crushed glass?
You'll see it in the shiny parts of the wings of the dragonfly.
Okay. I'm sure in person you get a better feeling than...
Yeah, you get the dimension of it.
Yeah, the dimension of it, right.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so that's what's multimedia. What you do with this crushed glass and acrylic and oil painting is considered multimedia. Is that correct?
Multimedia represents also my, I'm sorry, lost for words, my time with camera. So as somebody who has a podcast. So it includes podcasting, it includes cooking, it includes gardening, it includes painting, drawing.
Dancing, I see dancing.
Sure, for certain.
Is there anything you cannot do creatively? You play the ukulele and the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we hear you? So, I mean, do you entertain anywhere?
I share it with my friends, and that's something that I am girding up the
to
do, but it's very private. It's very personal. It's the most personal. It's easy for me to share my paintings than it is to actually sing and to play at this very moment. But I believe God is working on me on that. But
and
yes,
with other people, you say, with friends, you perform, or you play?
I play for my family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't they lucky? Right. You sent me an artist statement, which, you don't have it with you. Do you want to read that, or just tell it?
My artist statement.
Yes. Because it's beautiful, and I don't want to miss anything.
I don't have it memorized, but I could. And if I could ask for our next painting while I read it, that would be fun.
That's good.
Perfect. This painting is actually my husband. My husband is my guardian angel, sent to me to protect me and to help me in this. It's sometimes very hard being human. So this is a gift to him.
Right. Is he creative?
Absolutely. He's a painter too.
He's a painter.
And he sings.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And a wonderful cook. So if I could read my artist statement as you take a look at this painting, that'd be great.
I think that'll be the better way to do it.
Okay. I'm grateful to live a creative life that I enjoy. I love to paint, craft, write songs, flower pot, garden, cook, and more. Each part of what I do daily supports the development of a painting. I like to put on a canvas what's currently happening around me, depicting in symbolic imagery, connection, and messages that flows from the environment, around, outside, and inside. An idea for painting arrives by vibrational energy in visions and or sound. I then transfer these messagings with lines, color, and form. What is brought forward in a composition is representations of elements, physical and non-physical beings, trusting the spiritual and mystical messages that arrive, and with the intention to express divine's presence, divine's love in my life. I thrive in a peace-filled, positive, loving space. This kind of nurturing environment allows for my story to be brought forward more authentically, honestly, and humbly. The wildlife of the Pine Barrens, where I live in Manchester, influences what I create in a large way, offering an abundance of musings. As a multidisciplined creative, telling stories of my sojourn life with multimedia is a necessary part of existence.
Well, that kind of covers who you are. Yeah. Did we show all the paintings that you brought with you?
We have some more. If we could get the next one, please. Okay, so the next two that you'll see is my beautiful angels. So this angel here is Chloe. And Chloe and I, along with her sister Coco, who's the next one, has traveled with me everywhere that I've gone. They came to me when I lived in California, and I rescued them. They're sisters. They were born in the same litter, and they have traveled with me everywhere I've gone. And this place, sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional because they're just really special to me. So Leisure Village West, Manchester, is their final living place and where they are with me currently in the spirit realm. They have been my guardian angels my entire life. And currently, they are just helping me so grandly expand in my life currently.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And the names are?
Their names are Chloe Baby and Coco Lenny.
Okay. And it's just beautiful. Did we touch on everything that you have a couple more paintings?
I think we have one more. Yes, okay. One more. Okay. Here it is. And this is my final one that we're showing.
Okay.
This painting here was a gift to my husband. And this painting has layers and layers and layers of paint. That's part of my process. I use canvases as what I call the compost canvas, where as I'm painting a project, sometimes there's paint left over in my brush and I don't want to waste it, so I want to use it. And so I lay it down in line form on another canvas. And so that particular painting, I'm so sorry, if we could have it back up again to show, I would really appreciate it. This painting here, it represents flowers. It has a depiction of flowers in the background. Those are plumeria flowers. And those flowers, also known as frangipane, grows everywhere in Hawaii. The bird being represents the numerous amounts of hawk that we see here in our neighborhood, as well as it representing what in Kanaka culture or the Hawaiian culture represents God's presence with us. And so this bird is this hawk. Whenever I see it here in the community, it's really amazing how I could be thinking. Like I said, everything that I do is part of a painting process, but this particular place offers so many beautiful sightings of hawks, and it's a reminder for me that God is always with me. And so also on this painting that you cannot see very clearly, but what is written on it, what I wrote down on this painting is the lyrics to one of my favorite songs. And so
where is that written?
On the background, so you can faintly see it. But it's from a movie that I really love, and it's a song by Whitney Houston, and it is called I Believe in You and Me. And so this is a gift from my husband. So
lovely. That's just lovely. All of them are. And I'm so happy that you were able to share with me, but with the residents here.
Yeah.
Something different and unique. You know, there aren't a lot of people like you around, especially painting from home. You have it set up throughout your house. I mean, it must be a lot of space that's taken up with your studio.
But I'm really blessed because we have a beautiful home. Of course, everybody has a beautiful home here.
They are all beautiful.
And so I have one room that is designed just for my creative space, but my creative space is my entire house, including the outside.
Wherever you happen to be when the inspiration hits, right?
I paint everywhere, yeah, and write songs, and of course I can only cook in my kitchen, but
to me, cooking is something I have to do if I want to eat, but to you it's a creative art. It's beautiful. I should take lessons from you. Are you having any exhibits in the area coming?
Not currently. My last exhibit that I did was, of course, our Leisure Village West holiday show, which was really lovely. And one thing recently, a couple months ago, was the Ocean County Art Guild featured some of my paintings that I showed in their book that they make annually.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
so
It's published.
that has been my last show that I did, but I'm always open to showing my paintings wherever I'm invited. I don't work as diligently to get the work out there because I'm in my sacred space, home, creating, and in the environment.
That's what's important.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Well, this has been beautiful. I've enjoyed it. Anything we've missed that you want to tell everybody?
Well, I have a website if you would like to come and see my paintings. It doesn't cost anything.
Yes, tell me the website.
The website is called HaCreativeMystics.com.
It's S-H-A.
It's Ha, H-A.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there you can learn about my story and see some of my paintings, and also learn about all the other things that I do, which is I offer courses. And
is 24 hours in a day enough for you?
Really, no, I don't think, but it has to be, because I guess we do have to sleep sometimes.
Yes, exactly. I thank you so much for coming to speak to us. Really, I'm sure that there'll be some feedback from people who are watching this, and they'll be as excited about it as I was to see it. So I'm glad you shared that with us.
I am so excited for this opportunity, and I just want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone at KLVW-TV who make this happen for our beautiful community where we are. It is a blessing to have this opportunity to share my story of my beautiful, wonderful life that I found here at Leisure Village West. And I'm open to making friends with anybody who wants to.
We're grateful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And I thank you again. I'm Helen Epstein, and I thank you for watching our program.